It has been nearly a month since we last brought you Peach Belt Conference basketball from the Christenberry Fieldhouse on the campus of Augusta University. I'm the Mac Daddy, Charles McNeil, Chad Cook alongside. And, of course, since you last saw the Lady Jaguars, the Jaguar women, they've been on the road. Saturday, January 4th, they began their trip with a 95-81 double overtime victory at Clayton State. Kiera Howard tossed in 32 big points and had 7 steals in that contest. Asia Harrison, 19 for the Jaguars. On last Wednesday, Millet Green's squad, they took one on the chin at Lander, 86-55, outscored 56-22 in the second half of that one. And most recently, a 71-59 12-point setback at Young Harris, with Crystal Corley throwing in 19 points. Kennedy Manning, 11 points in that game. Manning and Kiera Howard both fouled out in that contest. A slow start, only 15 points in the first half. And Chad, when you prepare yourself for a game against Francis Marion, this is a battle of the 4th seed, if we were going to the postseason right now, in Augusta University, and the 7th seed, Lady Patriots of Francis Marion.
Yeah, it's the kind of game that Augusta needs if they're going to fulfill their mission of, making progress every year, getting into that Peach Belt Conference tournament this year. And I know Coach Millette Green has even bigger aspirations. This is the kind of game you need. It's a home game. Got to take care of the home court. 2-0 so far at home. And, this is the 3rd opportunity in 6 games. So it's the kind of game that Jaguars need.
Yeah, they're definitely excited about being back at home, and you could see it in their eyes as they went through the warm-up drills and shots being dropped at home. Of course, they practice here, and they've been going to class for the last week or so and just continuing to get themselves set and raring to go each and every opportunity that they can get, as this one should be an interesting contest. This Francis Marion team comes in with a record of 5-6. They're 1-4 in the Peach Belt Conference. They're 2-4 on the road. They won their first 4 games to open up the season, lost 3 consecutive, then won 1, and then lost the last 3. So it's been a topsy-turvy kind of season for Francis Marion.
Yeah, and Augusta's been on a bit of a roller coaster ride as well. After 3 conference wins to open things up, basically a stretch of play that lasted 4 quarters that was somewhat disappointing for Coach Millette Green, and the Jaguars will look to get back on track here tonight.
And the tip is controlled by the team in red. That's Francis Marion. Their point guard handling on the outside, Cameron Johnson. She's closely guarded by Augusta's own number 3. That is, of course, Kiera Howard. Foul line jump shot in the air. It is pure. Keona Adderton with the first field goal of the ball game. The junior out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach High School. There's a steal. Scarlett Gilmore gets it into the post. Turn and face. And lost out of bounds, but they're going to call a foul against Augusta in the post.
I think we're going to get, Crystal Corley doubling down on the post and reaching in here. This is Kiana Adderton on the prior play, a little step-back jumper.
So quite a difference in the starting unit for Augusta since the last time we saw them. Crystal Corley now inserted into the starting lineup. Fabulous freshman. Wonderful start for her this year.
Yeah, Coach Millette Green told me that during the past 2 days in practice, the coaches allowed 4 different players to pick teams, pickup game style, and she wanted to see everybody compete, and the coaches got together and decided which 5 players deserve to start based on the effort and performance in practice.
Gilmore's 3 too strong and rebounded by Augusta. Left wing, Cameron stopping and popping. Back iron, no good. Loose ball rebound to Corley. She'll reset the offense in the hands of Howard.
One of the things Coach Millette Green thought the team should have done better in the most recent 2 losses is play inside out, get the ball into Kennedy Manning, and now we see Monisha Goldsboro as well.
Shot clock violation. Goldsboro in the lineup along with Kennedy Manning in the front court. A three-guard rotation with Howard, Corley, and Cameron Wilson. Zaria Woods. Errant pass.
Good recovery by Kiera Howard there, and also good job by her not picking up her first foul. She's prone to get in foul trouble. It's a key of the game for her to not fall prey to that here tonight.
Yeah, that was one of the bugaboos in that three-game road trip to open up the year for Augusta. Foul difficulty. As in that three-game stretch, Cam Wilson fouled out, Howard fouled out again, and Manning fouled out.
Speaking of fouling out, Crystal Corley goes to the bench with 2 after only 2 minutes and 14 seconds of play.
And the lone 2 fouls of the ball game as well against Corley. Crossover dribble, drive, strong move, and Wilson knocks it away. Manning elevates, gets a second try in close and gets the bottom.
Excellent job by Kennedy Manning. Coach Millette Green talked about her the team's inability to get her the ball in the most recent 2 losses. She took matters into her own hand there, went coast to coast, put it up on the glass, followed her own miss, and scored it.
And right back the other way, a driving layup, put up and down by Zaria Woods. So Woods with a quick 4. 6-2 is our score.
Zaria Woods will be a focus of Augusta all game long. Coach Millette Green talked about the need to get her out of her rhythm.
There's a steal by Cameron Johnson. In the low post. Adderton turning and facing. She'll have an opportunity to go to the line and shoot 2.
Here's Kennedy Manning basically getting herself in position to make a little post move, even though she's in the open court. Pivots, puts it up on the glass, follows it up quick. That's Kennedy Manning at her best, crashing the offensive glass.
First one up and good.
Manning there loses Zaria Woods a little bit. You can't lose track of her.
So Adderton, the freshman, with a pair of free throws, extends the lead to 8-2 and nearly a turnover. It is a turnover underneath. Shot attempt after the whistle.
Augusta's having all kinds of trouble taking care of the basketball. Less than 4 minutes of play. I've counted in my head here at least 4 turnovers.
Zaria West checks in for Augusta, as does Asia Harrison. Gilmore knocking down the free throw. 61% free throw shooter on the season. As a team, they only shoot 59% from the foul line. Perimeter jump shot by Altman, no good. She too also in the lineup for Augusta. They work the ball down low to the Lady Patriots, and there's a traveling violation.
Augusta got bailed out there by Zaria Woods' mistaken footwork. She beat Augusta down court, got the ball right at the rim. You're not going to be able to stop her if she gets that kind of position consistently, which she has so far today.
Nearly a steal into the corner. Manning, free throw, jumper in the air, and it's perfect.
So Kennedy Manning's gotten the ball 2 times in scoring position, and Augusta's gotten their only 2 field goals of the game from those 2 opportunities. Coach Millette Green talked about it this morning when I talked to her. needing to get the ball inside and then work out from there.
And another traveling violation against Francis Marion. Get a chance to take a look at it again, Chad.
Yeah, pretty basic stuff. She gets the ball at the free throw line. She can score the ball if you get it to her. Let's see if they can have success in doing that again here.
West puts it in the hands of Harrison. Wilson. Get over the top. Manning tries to make a move, and she's tied up by the substitution, Macy Passmore.
Yeah, even though that time it didn't end in a bucket for Augusta, Coach Millette Green has to like the ball going into Manning again. Let's see on this inbounds play opportunity to get something set up. They get a good look here.
West will trigger. Manning, shot clock at 9. To the corner, West. 3 ball, and they say 2 ball, and it's good. West, who averages 9 points a game on the board. The junior from Raleigh, North Carolina. To the floor and a slide, no whistle for traveling on that one. But late, here comes Augusta University on the break to the basket. No basket. Foul infraction and whistled in advance of that strong drive.
Here we're going to see Zaria West right before we go to timeout, making that three-pointer, or actually long 2.
The right foot was on the line. She'll get a chance to see it.
Augusta steadying itself after falling behind 10-2, scoring 4 straight points here.
What has been the difference in Augusta's comeback?
Well, you know, I mentioned turnovers on the part of Augusta. I checked the stats. It's at 5 now. But Francis Marion has turned the ball over 5 times as well. So neither team is showing an eagerness to establish leadership here early. But, you know, it's a matter of after 5 minutes of play, you know, just keeping yourself in the game, getting a rhythm, you know, good energy by Augusta. We'll see if they can follow it up after this timeout.
So again, we touched on the fact that Augusta hasn't been here in a while. Come in with a record of 6-7, 3-2 in the Peach Belt Conference, currently in 4th place. They're 4-1 at home this year. 2-game losing streak. They average 59 points while yielding 66 to their opponents. The team is shooting 36% from the field, 23% from three-point range. They average 38 rebounds and 9 assists a contest, and shoot 73% from the free throw line. As they're set to inbounds here. Wilson has it, left wing, West for 3. That's strong. Pulled out of there by Gilmore. Taylor Simmons had possession when there was a whistle in the post.
Yeah, that's Kennedy Manning trying to kind of push Zaria Woods out of the post from behind. Wasn't really necessary there. She hadn't given up deep post position. She probably should have been content to just play big behind Zaria Woods. You see her pushing her out with that right forearm there.
Woods at the line where she's 2 for 2.
Was some instant replay there. We zeroed right in on Kennedy Manning, rooting out Zaria Woods on that play.
Well, what else would you expect from the SUV TV crew?
That's right.
6 points in the ball game for Woods, their leading scorer, averaging 15 a game. Asia Harrison from deep.
Well, that's shades of the Clayton State game from Asia Harrison. She just stepped in like she had ultimate confidence in her ability to make that shot.
19 points in that ball game against Clayton State. And there's Wilson with her first field goal.
And Wilson was equally as impressive that day against Clayton State. That was a big road win for the team, beating the runner-up from the conference last year in double overtime.
Smooth move by Adderton. Her second field goal. She's got 4. She had 26 versus Young Harris, 24 against Mount Olive. She's a scorer. Another one from long distance. Harrison rings it up. And Augusta ties this one up. First time we've been tied since the onset of this one. The opening tip is a turn and face, and another shot by the score maker, Adderton. She's got a game face on. Wilson, Altman, over the top. Try to find Goldsberger. Couldn't find her. Now West, pull up. Quick shot. Off the steal. And back the other way they come. Aggressive drive. Misfire. Goldsboro with the rebound. Harrison. Guarded by Simmons. Francis Marion in a man-to-man chat. Elevation and a rejection. Shot clock down to 9.
It's a good job by Jalen Altman. You mentioned that man-to-man defense. Without Kennedy Manning in the game, it kind of falls to the perimeter players to create off the dribble. Jalen Altman's really good when she squares up and has that triple threat position. She's got that rip through dribble going right and left, and she was able to draw the foul there.
Stella LeBognon into the ball game. The transfer out of Tallahassee Community College. And she immediately pays dividends with the loose ball rebound. Second try is good. Harrison is on fire. That's her third three-pointer in the opening quarter, and Augusta has their first lead, 17-16.
It's great to see the reigning co-rookie of the year really come into her own here today and a little bit over the break. Mentioned that Clayton State outing.
West. Beautiful drive, and Harrison is feeling it.
This is just what Coach Millette Green and the Lady Jaguars needed. Somebody like Asia Harrison to just explode offensively.
Harrison coming into this ball game, shooting 30% from the field. Fast break. Lefty layup is too strong.
You know, you mentioned Asia's shooting percentages. All of her numbers have actually picked up as we see her making this three from the left wing. All of her numbers have picked up since conference play has began. And lots of times players take a dip in conference play because the other team really prepares better for each player and what they do best. So it's good to see her stepping up to the challenge.
Ashley Bolin with that aggressive drive. Ball tipped into the corner. It's retrieved over there by Jerry Porter, the head coach of Francis Marion. For the Jaguars with a 19-16 advantage. 1:15 left to go in the opening stanza. High pick and roll. Another three ball. Side pocket. Will take it. All three of those.
Asia's teammates love it over there. Every last one of them is on their feet, clapping and jumping. You know, you asked earlier what was the story in Augusta's mini comeback when they cut it from 10-2 to 10-6. The story right now is Asia Harrison.
And finally an answer. Passmore. Final 30 seconds of this opening quarter.
I'll be shocked if something isn't run here for Asia Harrison.
West being guarded by Wall. Drives. Bolin. Lefty. Scoop. No good. 8 seconds. Crosses the timeline with 6. Now the drive to the well. And a layup is up and good to close out the quarter. That was Christian Wall, another one of the terrific freshmen for Francis Marion. And she closes out the scoring in the opening quarter, but Augusta, off a huge run, takes the lead.
We'll be back with the second quarter in a second, but this is not the way Augusta wanted to end the first quarter. Momentum's a big thing, and with all that momentum going Augusta's way, they definitely didn't want to give that up at the buzzer of the first quarter. But here we're going to see Asia Harrison. They actually tried to run this play on the last possession of the quarter, but Francis Marion did a good job of staying with Harrison. That was her 4th 3 of the game. Here's Harrison again, the reigning co-rookie of the year. Pretty sure this is Asia's second highest scoring output of the season already, and we're only 10 minutes into it.
Adderton leads the scoring for Francis Marion with 8 in that opening quarter.
What a quarter for Asia Harrison. You look at this stat sheet that they just gave us. It's as close to a perfect line as you can get for Asia Harrison. And it actually is a perfect line. 5 for 5 from the field, 14 points, 4 for 4 from 3. Another thing you see from the stat sheet is that Kennedy Manning has picked up her second foul, so that we'll keep an eye on that as well.
Cameron Johnson with that field goal to open up the scoring in the second quarter. The junior. Michella Davis now in the lineup for Augusta. Adderton picking up the foul. That's her first. But she'll have a seat. So 8 points for Adderton. She's on the bench. 6 for Woods. Augusta was paced by 14 from Asia Harrison. And 4 big threes. No other player with more than 4 points for Augusta in that opening quarter.
There's good help on the post entry there. I think that was Cameron Wilson that came over. We'll see. Actually, Cameron Wilson goes for the steal, and Jalen Altman comes over and contests that layup. Just enough to make a miss.
So West with the basketball for Augusta. Goldsboro with the running hook shot, and it's good. Good help side defense. With a nice strong drive. Shot attempt up short. Held ball. And the arrow in favor of Augusta.
Coach Millette Green told me this will be the first game all season that everybody's available, and I look out there at Monisha Goldsboro, and that's what I think of, making an impact here, and I believe her second game of the season. Coming off a knee injury.
Yeah, that knee injury was suffered in practice. I happened to be at that practice. Everything came to a crashing halt.
Jalen Altman's really working in the post defensively. That play's partly caused by the attention that Tatiana McClaney was gathering in the post, not just from Jalen Altman, but also Zaria West. So the skip pass gets freed up, and Zaria tries to close out and gets beat off the dribble there.
Scarlett Gilmore at the line. 61% free throw shooter. Made the first, but missed the second. Rebounded by Augusta. We're deadlocked at 24. Just inside of 8 minutes to play before halftime. Five seconds on the clock. Long range three. No good. Tipped and kept alive by Augusta, but into the hands of Francis Marion. They've got numbers. 5 on 4. The bullet pass down low. Post up with the left hand.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Zaria Woods just put on a clinic on post play. I think they call that rim running. She ran straight to the rim, turned around, sealed, and screamed for the ball, got it, and finished with her offhand. Here she goes again.
There's a turnover to her and rejected from behind in a delayed call.
Here's Zaria Woods. We'll see her in a second. She's already posted up at this point. She's yelling for the ball, finishes with her offhand. Just excellent post position. We'll see a better look at it here. Watch her just seal. Now, Coach Millette Green's probably asking for a 3-second call right about now. But as so often is the case, the aggressive player gets the benefit of the doubt on the call. Zaria Woods is nothing if not aggressive.
Misfired on the free throw. 26-24. As Augusta answers with a 3-ball from Cameron.
We had a good read on that one. That one looked good all the way. So between Wilson and Asia Harrison, the sharpshooters of Augusta are keeping the Jaguars in this game.
Fifth made three-pointer in the opening half of play. Cameron Wilson, who averages 5 on the season.
It's a good job here by Kiera Howard, reading the correct read off the screen and roll, finding the shooter Cameron Wilson.
And you got to like the way she kept that form all the way through. She's at her average. The senior out of Newport News. Aggressive move by Howard, and ball deflected out of bounds. So the Jaguars up by 1. Just under 6 minutes to play before the break. Fast break, an opportunity to hit ahead. Bowling.
It was a beautiful feed by Kiera Howard. Just caught it in stride and took a quick peek over there and didn't even really look at Ashley Bolin and led her perfectly. So since re-entering, Kiera Howard's got 2 assists, 1 to Cameron Wilson and 1 to Ashley Bolin.
Adderton with the turnaround, too strong. And a loose ball rebound against the Patriots.
We'll see Kiera Howard here. Watch her catch it in stride, take a quick peek, and then get rid of it. Led Ashley perfectly there.
Manning back in the lineup after a lengthy break, and she travels.
Augusta's being very resourceful staying in this game. You know, it helps when you make 5 3-pointers in the first 15 minutes of play, but, you know, Frances Marion's really playing well when it comes to Zaria Woods, Kiana Adderton, sorry. And for them to have a 3-point lead, Augusta's quite fortunate right here.
Fortunate we didn't get a foul called on that one.
That's right.
As Howard was over the back. It didn't matter as another incredible drive by Woods. So Woods now with 10.
Well, that was actually Cameron Johnson, the point guard, 23.
Okay. Johnson with 4. There's another 3 ball. Buried by Cam Wilson.
We've watched this Lady Jaguars team make progress all season, and here we are in, what, the 14th game. It's the first time we've really seen the ball just go in the hoop consistently from long range. Coach Millette Green has to love to see that.
Wilson trying to find Howard. She comes back for it. Harrison's on the right side. Wilson on the left side. The sharpshooters for Augusta. High post Manning. Another strong drive, but a reach in. And a foul committed.
Good job being aggressive by Kennedy Manning. You know, she's only a freshman post player at that. In the future, she might have the awareness to kick that to Asia Harrison in the left corner, the hot shooter. But Coach Millette Green is probably just fine with her going to the line for 2.
Augusta 4-1 at home this season, Chad. 67-61, the lone loss this year on November 16th to Queens College.
That's right, and they started off, you know, very well here at home in Peach Belt Conference play. Of course, we were here for both of those games. Kennedy Manning just, you know, dominating with double-doubles. And in the next 3 games on the road, the opponent really adjusted to Manning. Coach Millette Green talked about not just playing against full court pressure and having trouble getting the ball to Kennedy because of that helter-skelter nature of those games, but also against Young Harris when it wasn't a full court pressure game. There's a lot of double teaming and even triple teaming of Manning in the post. And so Coach Millette Green talked about the need to still get the ball inside to her, but she didn't talk about the need to make this many 3-pointers here in the first half. But if she could dial it up on demand, I know she would have, and she's got to love to see it here today.
There's no doubt. Last time out for Frances Marion was an 82-67 setback to Lander. That just 4 days ago. As Manning's at the line for Augusta. First time Augusta's at the line tonight.
It's one of the things, one of the many things that Kennedy Manning does well, shooting free throws. You know, there's that cursor on demand there, on command. But yeah, she's got a really nice stroke from the free throw line. So many things the freshman does well.
Yeah, 72% free throw shooter before that miss.
It's the first possession of zone that I think we've seen from Augusta.
Ottman deflects it out of bounds. Six 3-pointers for Augusta. Adderton with the pull-up. Long rebound. Altman has it. Should give way to Howard. Augusta with a 1-2-2 set. perimeter. Shot clock down to 5.
Great job being aggressive by Jalen Altman. I love the way she squares up and doesn't waste dribbles. We'll see it here. Catches it inside the three-point line. Who does that these days? Catching the ball inside the three-point line as a perimeter player. Love to see it. Takes only 2 dribbles, gets to the paint, throws up a wild shot at the end, but that's after gaining contact and getting her place at the free throw line.
.68% free throw shooter is Altman, sophomore out of Hope Mills, North Carolina. Manning with the rejection. Off balance shot. No whistle until he goes out of bounds.
It's a good job by Kennedy Manning here. Again, Zaria Woods just staking out position. Good job by her, but Kennedy doesn't give up on the play. She's got size and athleticism that she can use against Zaria Woods. There's a battle going on in the post when it comes to Manning and Woods. You see Zaria Woods just sealing, playing physically.
Passmore's three-point attempt.
Excellent job by the freshman Kennedy Manning. So she battles Woods the entire possession. Shot goes up from deep. Kennedy Manning has a strong block out and then gets a rebound in traffic, earns chance to go to the free throw line. I'm going to take over the play-by-play role here for a second. Kennedy Manning making the first of 2. I talked earlier about her ability at the free throw line. Charles noted that she's 72% from the free throw line, 2 for 3 here today. Manning makes them both. So that's 7 points for the freshman. 2 fouls. I really like Coach Millette Green's having trust in the freshman center, going back to her even though she has 2 fouls, and it's paying off here late in the second half. 3 points, a block shot, a key defensive rebound. Good job by Kennedy Manning. We see Manning again work. Now she's helping against the dribble drive. Cameron Johnson with the ball. Looks like, again, now Manning forces an offensive foul on Zaria Woods, trying to fight for position. We saw earlier with that great replay from SUV TV, we saw Kennedy Manning pushing on the back of Zaria Woods. That time it was Woods who was overzealous in fighting for position and gets the offensive foul. Who would have thought when it was 10-2 Francis Marion's way that Augusta would be having a chance to possibly even take a 10-point lead here with 1 minute to go in the first half, leading by 7 as we see Asia Harrison come off a Manning screen. Well, Cameron Johnson can't believe she was called for the foul there. She did a good job of staying in front of Asia Harrison, but as I say all the time, the aggressive player tends to get the benefit of the doubt, and that's what Asia Harrison is feeling. Asia Harrison is feeling it. She drives hard, puts the defender in a position where, you know, she wants to reach in, gets called for the foul. Asia Harrison hasn't scored since the first half, came out with 14 points in the first hasn't scored since the first quarter after coming out with 14 points in that first 10 minutes. We've got Madison Tyler having entered the game now. Asia misses the first. Makes the second, so that gives the sophomore 15 points here in the first half. Augusta, 8-point lead. Now remember, Francis Marion was able to finish the first quarter with momentum, but Augusta having grabbed the steal there, Jalen Altman doing the honors. Augusta's working on finishing a quarter with positive momentum. Asia Harrison is looking to work the shot clock. It's down to 15 right now. Shouting out instructions, gets a screen from Labagno, rejects it. Tried to draw the foul, couldn't, but got the ball back and then gets it taken away. Now that's a frustration foul from Asia Harrison. She was unable to finish at the rim, then unable to keep possession of the ball after she got the loose ball. Gets it stolen from her, and she gets a foul, 60 feet from the basket. Not what Coach Millette Green would want there. But not being in the bonus, Cameron Johnson has the ball with 10 seconds to go, right past the half-court line. Good job by Stella Labagno coming over and getting the block. And we're going to talk to an Augusta University coach here in just one moment.
As we get a chance to see it one more time, the final drive and an opportunity to cut into Augusta's lead. And Labagno with the rejection to close out the half. What a first half it was for Augusta, up by 8, 36-28. Coach Green. As it looks like Chad will have a special guest coming our way in just a moment. And it will be the assistant coach for Augusta, Celeste Stewart. At least that was the anticipation. And it looks like Coach Stewart is headed back to the locker room as well, so we'll get a chance to check in with Chad during the post game and get the thoughts of Coach, hopefully after a victory, as Augusta, thanks to a solid start, coming from behind, down 10-2, they outscored Francis Marion 20-11 to close out that quarter, and led it 22-21 at the end of one. And they've extended their lead with 14 more in the second quarter and only 7 for Francis Marion. They lead at the break by a score of 36-28. This is SUV TV. It's continuing coverage of Augusta University, and it's brought to you by AUGB Ball. Stay with us, everyone.
You are anything but ordinary. You have your own path and your own potential to realize. At Augusta University, the advantages created by our diversity in thought, culture, and collaboration give you and us infinite opportunity. Together, we're changing our community, our campus, and our world. We are boundless. We are Augusta University.
And welcome back inside the Christenberry Fieldhouse alongside Chad Cook, Charles McNeil here. And the Jaguars with a 36-28 lead at the break. Coach Millette Green in her third season had her team make a tremendous come-from-behind effort to lead it by one after one and then up their lead with a 14-7 advantage in the second period. The numbers of interest to the fans, of course, shooting for Augusta, 50% in the first quarter, same in the second quarter, 13 of 26 for the ball game. For Francis Marion, they shot 60% in that first quarter, 3 of 12 in the second, as the defense of Augusta stifling 9 of 22 for 41% thus far. Augusta out rebounding Francis Marion, 18-12, and taking care of business in the assists department as well, 7-2, the edge there as the second half is underway. Your leading scorers, Asia Harrison with 15 points, Cameron Wilson with 8 for Augusta. For the Patriots, who have the basketball, let's begin the second half, and a 3-ball from Scarlett Gilmore. So Gilmore's first field goal, and they put on pressure. They were led by 2 players, Adderton with 8 and Woods with 8.
Now we remember that slow start from Augusta, and this is the first time we've seen the lineup that started that game since that slow start. So we'll see if these ladies can do a better job.
Corley with the ball on the floor. Wilson ties up Woods in the post or just outside of it. And the possession arrow in favor of Augusta. Yeah, I'm sure they got a little coaching up on the sidelines in the locker room at least with Millette Green and Celeste Stewart.
And it's an odd lineup. You know, obviously the first time all season that this lineup has played together, and you've got Monisha Goldsboro out there with Kennedy Manning. So it's not as good a spacing as the other lineup. And then Crystal Corley rather than Asia Harrison. So spacing's a little challenge. Get a good look there from Kennedy Manning, though.
Collision between 2 Augusta players. Corley peels herself off the hardwood. It's Woods. Kick out, 3-ball. Knuckleball attempt, no good. Back come the Jaguars. Strong drive. Forcing the defender to have to do something on that one, Chad.
That's a good job by Kiara Howard. That's where she's at her best, challenging the defender off the dribble, attacking the basket. Almost got 2 free throws there.
Goldsboro turns and faces, goes off the window. Nice shot, just didn't get the friendly roll.
Yeah, 2 very good looks from Augusta. Neither one of them went in, but 2 good looks from Manning and Goldsboro so far this half.
Howard out there talking. Lost her man, but pulled out there by Corley. She's got a 2-on-1 if she hustles on the wing. Wilson has it. Goldsboro cross court, Corley. Manning in the post. She gets hacked, no call. Loose ball, jump hook, no good.
3 great looks from Augusta. Actually 4 when you count 2 on that play, 1 by Manning and 1 by Goldsboro.
There's a wide open 3, and it's good.
You know, the guys on TV are fond of saying that the NBA is a make or miss league, and we see a little bit of it here.
Gilmore, who had 14 made threes on the season, just has 2 in the early going in the second half, but she misses the close-up shot that time. Gilmore now with 9 in the game. She had a season-high 20 versus USC Aiken. Back door, Wilson with the reverse.
Beautiful basketball by Augusta. Kennedy Manning, the freshman, reading the defense perfectly, and Cameron Wilson doing the exact same thing. Backdoor cut, overplayed in the corner. You can run a clinic with that kind of stuff.
Nearly took 3 minutes to get Augusta's first field goal.
You see here Kennedy Manning. See the end of it there with a nice finish by Cameron Wilson. Here's the entire play. It's a beautiful look by Manning and a great finish by Cameron Wilson.
What helps, get a backdoor play started for an offense?
The overplay. So if we see that again later on, we'll see Cameron Wilson being denied in the left corner. And so when you're overplayed like that, you just take what the defense gives you. If they play off of you, you catch it and look to shoot. And if they overplay you, you cut to the basket.
I know Princeton lived with that offense for a lot of years as Manning buries the perimeter jump shot.
Make or miss league. Manning missed one of those earlier. There she gets it to fall. Her in that little high post position has been money for the Jaguars here today.
She's got 7. Back the other way, Adderton, don't get her started. Deanna Arrington, 14 points, 6 rebounds a ball game. She's also capable of knocking down a long-range shot. That's 13 made threes on the season. We've got an injured Francis Marion player down just inside the arc.
I think Cameron Johnson hurt herself there. That's just a miscommunication on defense by Augusta on the prior play. Kiana Adderton wide open there. Here's where we're going to see Kennedy Manning. When she catches the ball right there, she's real dangerous because she can make this shot, and if she's played closely, she can drive and score. She missed that shot at the beginning of the second half, made it there. And that's also the same place where she was able to hit Cameron Wilson on that backdoor cut. So if she doesn't get it in the low post, she can also do damage from the high post. One thing we haven't seen since the first quarter is a nice clean look by Asia Harrison after she came out and made 4 straight three-pointers. Obviously, Francis Marion has their eyes on her.
Glad to see Cameron Johnson up and moving. She makes her way over to the assistance of the trainer. Looks like they're going to take her on to the back.
So now with Goldsboro out of the game, we resume Kennedy Manning guarding Zaria Woods, so it'll be a battle down there if it's anything like the first half.
Altman with a steal. And a reverse, and it doesn't drop.
That's good hustle by Kennedy Manning, getting back to Zaria Woods. Now the battle resumes.
Takes her into the post and misfires, and Manning with the rebound.
She's doing a great job contesting, rebounding in traffic. How valuable is the freshman from Arabia Mountain?
And she gets in the low post. Manning. Shot rejected by Woods. Adderton, aggressive with the left hand in the hands of West.
It's great transition defense from Augusta, not only Asia Harrison, but also Zaria West.
Harrison, kick out, mid-range. Didn't fall for Altman, but Augusta through all that with a 4-point advantage.
Yeah, the difference between the start of this half and the start of the last half is Augusta's getting great looks and they're not turning the ball over. I expect these shots to start going in for the Lady Jaguars.
Strong on that shot, but followed up on the weak side by Woods.
It's a textbook situation there where penetration causes Kennedy Manning, the big, to come over and try to contest, which opens up a rebounding lane for Zaria Woods. So as soon as I say that Augusta is doing a great job taking care of the ball, they turn the ball over as we go into media timeout.
Nearly 6 minutes played in this, the third quarter. And it's Francis Marion on a 10-4 run in the onset of this third quarter.
It's been a real game of runs here. You mentioned 10-2 run. At the beginning, or did you say 10-4 run? 10-4 run, yeah. It reminds me of the 10-2 run at the beginning of the game when Francis Marion looked to be in charge. Augusta comes storming back behind Asia Harrison, goes into halftime with an 8-point lead, and now we see Francis Marion reasserting their will. Peach Belt Conference matchup, both teams trying to fight their way from the middle of the pack up towards the top. Wouldn't have it any other way on a Wednesday night here in January.
Next up for the Jaguar women, a trip to Pembroke, North Carolina this Saturday, 1:30 tip versus UNC Pembroke. Then Monday, Dr. King's birthday, and travel to Columbus State University for an early contest, 1:30 for that one as well. Our next webcast on SUV TV will be Wednesday, January the 22nd. And that's a week from today. We'll take on North Georgia. Following the timeout, Francis Marion with the basketball, trailing by 2. Augusta with a steal. Harrison. Pull-up jump shot. Howard. That's her first field goal, Chad, averaging 12 points a game.
Yeah, she's averaging 12. She's also even doing better than that in conference play.
Yeah, 15 a game. She has the basketball.
That shot she made a second ago was just a beautiful little floater. That's her bread and butter. Besides getting all the way to the rim, she can shoot that mid-range floater.
Hauptman went after her own. Pulled out of there by the smallest lady on the floor, Simmons. Left wing 3, no good. Loose ball rebound. Rebounded by Goldsboro. Howard kicks it out to West for 3. Rebound, Goldsboro.
Goldsboro's making a big impact on this game. She grabbed a rebound on the defensive end, then she runs the court, gets another one, puts it back in.
The senior from Tifton, Georgia, with the big field goal there to extend the lead back to 6, 44-38. We've got a timeout called by the head coach of Francis Marion, Jerry Porter, with 2:29 left to go in the third.
I think what we've seen here in the second half is we're going to watch Monisha Goldsboro stay active here. She's going to work her way around the block out, pick up 2 points. But as Augusta's had a little bit of trouble converting on offense, they've stayed aggressive and really made some things happen defensively. Here's Kiara Howard making that little floater I talked about. Kiara's going to be a really good player for Augusta for 4 years. Only a sophomore right now. The one thing that she doesn't do as a guard is shoot from the perimeter particularly well. She actually doesn't attempt to shoot from the perimeter very much, and that's a good sign that she recognizes her strengths and doesn't accentuate her weaknesses. But the fact that she can make that little floater shot and she shoots over 80% from the free throw line tells me that as she continues to work, she'll extend her range. And when she gets that, all the way out to a 3-point shot, she's going to be just an unstoppable Peach Belt guard.
So again, we talked about it in our last broadcast. The future certainly bright here at Augusta. The men, the defending champions in the conference, and the women continuing to get better year by year under Coach Green. Currently in the 4th place position behind North Georgia, Lander, Columbus, and Clayton. Clayton and Columbus tied at 4-1, Lander 5-0, North Georgia 6-0, and then following them is Augusta with a 3-2 mark. Young Harris and USC Aiken tied at 3-3. Flagler's in the 6th place position, they're 2-3. And Francis Marion in at 1-4. Georgia College 1-6, and Georgia Southwestern 0-5 thus far in the early going of the Peach Belt Conference.
There's another good rebound by Monisha Goldsboro in traffic. Kiera Howard just sacrificed her body to keep possession for the Lady Jaguars. So there you see she's basically had turned the ball over, but by throwing her body out in front, I mean, this should be Frances Marion's ball, but Howard just, like I said, sacrificed her body to allow Zaria West to collect the ball.
Yeah, I think she may have gotten stepped on. I know that she got a little whiplash as well. She hit her chin down on the hardwood.
Kiera's as tough as they come. Now it will fall on Zaria West to, handle point guard duties exclusively, with Kiera taking a seat, being looked at by the trainer right now.
West more than capable. Goldsboro. She travels.
It's been really good. Monisha Goldsboro traveled there, but it's been really good getting a contribution from her after, missing so many games here. She's very active on both ends of the court.
Token pressure. 6-point game as we wind down to 90 seconds left to go in the quarter, and a steal. West.
You mentioned that token pressure. Millette Green talked about doing that to get Frances Marion into a situation where they're not able to get the ball to Zaria Woods in the post. Works like a charm 2 times in a row. Zaria West with a steal a moment ago and a score, and then Cameron Wilson forcing a tie-up. We see Zaria here very much in control, slows down, makes it count. Now Monisha Goldsboro is really working in the post the same way that Kennedy Manning was doing earlier. That's just a tough score.
Gilmore having a night, Chad. She's got 8 in the quarter, 10, make that 11 in the ball game. And she averages 6 points a ball game. Her high again against, had 20 against USC Aiken just a couple of weeks ago. Someone lost a sneaker out there.
I think that was Ashley Boland.
I think they called her sneaker for a 3-second violation.
So Gus has had some good luck with this, as you put it, token pressure, this full court trapping.
That time wide open in the post. Easy basket.
Yeah, that's the thing about trapping. If the team with the ball is patient and well spaced and executing good passing, good ball control, they'll be able to find an open shot. Well, I think Ashley Boland just said, saw what Kennedy Manning did earlier and said she'll up the difficulty and make that pass without looking.
Backdoor feed leads to another basket for the Jaguars to close out the quarter.
Watch Boland here. She peaks, but not for long. Beautiful pass to Cameron Wilson. Great job by Cameron Wilson. Again, being overplayed, cutting to the basket, little backdoor cut, Princeton style, like you mentioned earlier. And then we saw, as Augusta went to the bench, Ashley Boland with a pep in her step. Augusta finishing now the second and the third quarters with good momentum as we enter the final quarter of play.
We know that Coach Green from the Virginia area, the Tidewater. And she, of course, spent a little time in the same school that produced the big guy down at Georgetown for so many years. So maybe JT3 rubbed a little of that Princeton stuff off on her, because it worked out very well for her. At the end of 3, Augusta with a 6-point edge, 48-42. 12 points scored for Augusta in that quarter. Francis Marion outscoring us in that one, 14-12.
You know, not an explosive offensive quarter for either team, especially not for Augusta. But what you take from that, if you're Coach Millette Green or if you're an Augusta Jaguar fan, while you don't play well offensively, you only put 12 points on the board, you play well enough defensively to keep a lead. I think it was 8 going into the third quarter, 6 going into the fourth. So, you know, the team is slowly building the pieces and establishing the identity of a winning basketball team. And one of those being letting your defense carry you during times when your offense is not able to do so.
Of course, I'm talking about Chesapeake, Virginia. And Alonzo Mourning, the big for Georgetown. Wilson elevates and drops in a 10-footer.
That was beautiful. Cameron Wilson showing the backdoor cutting, and then there she gets it in the high post area, kind of pinch post area. Rips through. This is just beautiful. Usually it's Jalen Altman doing this, but here we have Cameron Wilson ripping through, pulling up, hitting the contested jumper. That's just beautiful. She's standing right in front of us. Hopefully she hears me saying that.
Plenty of confidence as she elevated on that one. Averaging 5 points a game, Chad. She's got 14 tonight.
And she and Asia Harrison have been breakout players.
Howard, good to see her back. Couldn't find the bottom on that last jump shot. But Augusta with an 8-point lead and a steal.
There's that defense again, really coming through for Augusta.
Very important stretch here, the early portion of the fourth quarter. Chance to get a little spurt ability and increase this lead. Manning.
Wow. You talk about Georgetown and Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing and those guys. Kennedy Manning showing the stuff that a low post basketball is made of there. That's her offhand.
10-point lead, the largest for Augusta.
This is just great stuff by Kennedy Manning. First of all, Cameron Wilson for throwing the ball to her, and then a nice sky hook with the left hand off the glass. Didn't have a great angle on that, but she made it count nonetheless.
I got to ask you, do you have that one in your repertoire?
I never used it. I could probably do it with nobody guarding me, but I don't think I ever did it in a college game. In fact, I know I didn't.
There's a jump shot from the perimeter. Rattles out. Manning, nope, that's Bolin with inside position.
I think we're going to see 3 shots from Kiera Howard. Am I wrong about that? You know, Howard went to the floor hard after releasing that three-pointer, but
I
you're
think
right.
it was an interior foul.
Yeah.
Registered against.
Nice skip pass here by Kennedy Manning, but we'll get back to live action.
Another jump hook in the lane.
That's a great look by Kiera Howard. I like that all day if I'm a Augusta University coach.
On the wing. A 3-ball. Gilmore. Gilmore with her third 3-point of the ball game. She has 17 now on the season. Is the team leader in that department. Manning. Oh my goodness. Call for a traveling violation. I didn't see it.
That was just more great post play. Maybe we'll get a look at her feet here. She squares up. Does a good job of staying patient. Oh, that's just great basketball there. Finishes with her left. We'll see her feet again here. Real clear look at it from SUV TV on the replay. That left foot's down.
Yeah,
Well,
yep,
no, it did move. It did
picked
move.
it up. So, good call by the officials.
And they don't even get to look at instant replay.
No, unless they choose to, and not in that instance. Ooh.
Now, they might want to look at that one again. I think Zaria West was pretty still.
You asked for it, you got it.
I guess she's invading the space a little bit there. It's one of those calls where if you're a Francis Marion fan, you like it, and if you're an Augusta fan, you hate it. That's great ball movement by Francis Marion.
Woods with the incredible pass.
Francis Marion's 2 leading scorers here hooking up. Adderton moving without the ball, catching Cameron Wilson, kind of ball watching there. What a game here.
Just the second field goal for Adderton in the second half. She's got 12. Averages 14 a game. And a lead that was 10 is now down to 4. Manning lost her. Puts it up softly and finds the bottom.
You know, I always say that Kennedy Manning puts on a clinic. I think the last time I said it, it was about her defensive play. This second half, she's putting on a low post offensive clinic.
Earlier we saw the move with the left hand, now she uses the other one.
Yeah, she's so patient, whether it's before using her dribble or after. You know, she reads the defense and uses the defense's movement against her. That's just great basketball. Such a well-played game. Both teams' leading scorers are playing well, and then the support scorers who maybe haven't had big scoring games this season are also playing well. Augusta's really getting after it defensively.
There's a steal. West left something behind. Cameron stepped out of bounds.
Boy, that was, you know, Augusta's just really playing well. If Cameron Wilson just lets that fly there, you got to think that's going in. But I'm impressed by a lot of things, as you can probably tell. But Augusta's defense right now might be the shining light. We saw a steal on the last possession.
Great observation, Chad. I mean, Francis Marion comes in averaging 65 points a game. They've got 48 with 6 minutes left. I know there's still plenty of time, but not sure, based on the way Augusta's playing defense, they're going to score 17 more.
And it's obvious they have weapons, whether it be Adderton or Woods or Gilmore.
That's one of the weapons right there. Zaria Woods. Just her second field goal of the second half. She too has 12. So Adderton and Woods with 12 apiece. 14 for Wilson for Augusta. Manning with 11. The leading scorer, Harrison, hasn't scored in the second half.
Beautiful runner by Kiera Howard. I mentioned earlier when she missed a couple of those that if I'm an Augusta coach, I want to see more and more of that.
There's a steal. West ahead of the field.
What a performance by these Lady Jaguars. You see Zaria West letting out a yell of joy there. She deserves it. Here's Zaria West. I talked about her ability to make these little floater shots. She's got a beautiful touch. That's why I'm so confident that eventually her long-range shot will follow suit.
we've got a timeout on the floor with 5:17 left to play, nearing the midway point of the fourth period. In Peach Belt Conference action, once again, if you're in the area of Pembroke, make sure you head on up and check out the Jaguars. And they'll be in town on Saturday. They'll take on UNC Pembroke at 1:30. Monday, they will leave Pembroke on Saturday and head on over back to Augusta in all likelihood. And on Monday, Dr. King's birthday, the annual celebration, they'll be at Columbus State University. And next webcast is a week from tonight, 5:30 and 7:30. The opponent, North Georgia. So the Brain Trust of Augusta giving the final instructions to the Lady Jags as they head back on the floor. The Jaguar women with an opportunity for a victory here. Pick up their fourth win in conference play. The same win total as the two teams currently residing in the third place position, Columbus State and Clayton State. Francis Marion throws it away. A strong drive and an offensive foul called against Harrison.
Again, this is the stuff championship teams are made of, winning teams are made of. Everything's not going well on the offensive end. You see Asia Harrison drawing the charge there. Cameron Wilson earlier had a wide open three, kind of turned it over, trying to do too much. But they continue to stay focused and make things happen on the defensive end of the court.
They break the press. And now Augusta goes man. Nice look inside. That's Woods again. She's got 14, one shy of her average. 15 points, 9 rebounds a ball game. 5 times she's led the team in scoring. 6 times she's led them in rebounding.
Tough defense by Woods, forces a 3-second call. You know, it's easy to see why Woods is one of the country's leading field goal percentage players. Because she, not just because she, is a good player, but she gets the ball in great position, as we almost saw there.
That was a really nice look. Ball deflected off the foot of Woods, but last touched by a Jaguar. So 6-point game. 4:07 left to go.
Now the duty of guarding Woods falls on Monisha Goldsboro.
There's a steal by Wilson. Right-handed layup is good. 16 for Wilson. Season high for her. It's back the other way. They should score quickly.
So that's a downfall of all that trapping and pressure from Augusta. It can lead to open looks for Francis Marion.
Christian Wall, that's her first field goal. Fabulous freshman, 5'9", averaging 8 points a game. Second on the team with made three-pointers with 13 on the season. So a 6-point game. Goldsboro back on the floor. West out on the perimeter. Harrison. Howard Drives. Right-handed scoop, no good.
I think here I saw that finish on TV. That's what those NBA guys do these days.
Front iron shot, no good. Tipped off the hand of Howard into her teammate's hand. Good alert play by the Jaguars. We'll have a timeout on the floor. Augusta timeout comes at the 2:41 mark, up by 6.
You are anything but ordinary. You have your own path and your own potential to realize. At Augusta University, the advantages created by our diversity in thought, culture, and collaboration give you and us infinite opportunity. Together, we're changing our community, our campus, and our world. We are boundless. We are Augusta University.
Following the timeout, Augusta with the basketball. 15 on the shot clock, and there's a steal. Breakaway. And another basket by Woods.
Now that's disappointing for Augusta. You give up a live ball, kind of pick six type turnover when you need a bucket and you need execution late. Let's see if they do better this time.
16 points now for Woods. Augusta with their passing game. Shot attempt up in the paint, trying to avoid the 3-second violation, and nearly a throwaway by Francis Marion. Trailing by 4. Good push off as an aggressive drive and a score by Adderton. 14 now for her. That's her season average as Wilson brings in the front court. Cross court pass. Tell Augusta to settle down. Goldsboro, jump hook in the lane. The whistle and a foul committed.
Right before Monisha Goldsboro gets that ball in the post, as we're going to see, like you said, a very nice push off here by Adderton. She's being aggressive. But, right before Goldsboro got that ball in the post, I was about to wonder out loud why we don't see Kennedy Manning right out here on the court. But Goldsboro says, I got this, freshman. I got this.
5 points now for Goldsboro. That's her average on the year. .67% free throw shooter. First time at the line, she buries a pair. So 4-point lead again for Augusta. Gilmore nearly lost it out of bounds, being closely guarded.
Good quick hands by Zaria West. We'll see if Augusta's defense comes through yet again here.
Clock at 10 as the jump shot goes in the air. Rebounded by Goldsboro. She's triple teamed and gets it out. Lane, they've got some numbers. Augusta, good spin move. Wilson, shot attempt up, no good. And hit ahead, all the way to the basket. And Woods scores again. So Woods, with 10 here in the second half, has 18. She's got game high honors on both sides.
That's the other side of that play where Cameron Wilson, found herself after a nifty little move in the open court, kind of all alone and just was unable to make it fall. It's going to be, I think, Zaria West's quick hands forcing the out of bounds off of West.
So a 2-point game inside the final minute. Your Coach Green, what are you telling the Jaguars?
Well, no matter what she's telling her, Augusta needs to execute better. You know, nursing a 6-point lead just a minute or two ago, under 3 minutes to go, and really hasn't gotten a good look, except for when Goldsboro caught the ball in the paint and eventually went and made 2 free throws. So maybe first thing you have to do is handle this pressure, but maybe after that you work extra hard to get Goldsboro the ball in the paint again. She's proven she can make free throws, and she's confident with it.
Wilson gets it to Goldsboro.
Just recently, Cameron Wilson and Aja Harrison have passed up open shots. We'll see if they're more aggressive here.
22-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Wilson.
That was much better execution from Cameron Wilson and the Augusta Jaguars.
Could not make that one work. Loose ball rebound, Francis Marion, and their head coach, Coach Porter, calling a timeout.
So you asked what to expect on the offensive end. Now, I think a really interesting thing will be, what does Augusta do defensively? Do they stay with this full court trap, which is kind of meant to speed Francis Marion up? The problem with it is, if they handle it well, they get a point-blank look at the basket. So do you go back to an honest man-to-man, half-court traditional defensive set, or do you continue to pressure and try to make Francis Marion make a mistake? I think they'll probably come out on a man-to-man, play it honest. Again, just very much surprised not to see Kennedy Manning on the floor. But with Goldsboro being a senior, Coach Millette Green showing confidence in her.
Augusta's been outscored 18-14 in this final quarter. But it all comes down to this.
Keep an eye on Zaria Woods. After she sets this screen, she'll go stake out post position. Goldsboro looks ready for it, though.
Johnson on the perimeter. Shot clock is off. And a gorgeous drive and a basket by Gilmore.
Great finish by Gilmore.
We're tied at 62. 6 seconds left. And Augusta threatening not to get it across before 10 seconds. A timeout call by Coach Millette Green.
Well, they want to get the ball to Zaria Woods here, but man, what good offensive basketball by Gilmore there. Goldsboro really does a good job of keeping Zaria Woods out of position. So Gilmore knows it's on her to make something happen. She does a great job of it here. What a tough finish. Could have gone to the line for an extra point there.
And Goldsboro couldn't leave her man because her man is Woods, who's
actively sealing her off.
That's right.
Now I see Kennedy Manning sitting with 4 other players on the bench being talked to by Coach Millette Green, so that means she'll be checking back in. Augusta, I assume, will get the ball over here in front of the scorer's table. Is that what that'll be? And I think you try to enter it immediately into Manning, either in the low post or the high post, anywhere inside the three-point line with her, with a man on her back. She squares up and faces the basket. I think that will lead to the very best shot Augusta could get. We'll see if they can get that kind of action here. It's a tough ball placement for the Jaguars. I thought it had advanced all the way into the front court before that timeout was called. So we'll probably see Howard.
Exactly 5 seconds left. Inbounds. Jump shot in the air. Side of the rim, no good. And we're going to overtime.
Well, the only thing better than that 40 minutes of basketball is 5 more.
Bonus basketball. And we got it coming your way on SUV TV, thanks to AUGB Ball. With Athletic Director Clint Bryant just a couple of seats down from us, enjoying the action. I'm Charles McNeil. Chad Cook is alongside. We're at the Christenberry Fieldhouse on a Wednesday evening. Peach Belt Conference play, and the two teams currently seeded 4th and 7th respectively. Augusta University, the home team, 6 and 7 overall. taking on Francis Marion with a 5-6 record. Francis Marion, losers of their last 3. While Augusta trying to bounce back, riding a 2-game losing streak.
So Augusta really let a golden opportunity pass there in the final minutes of that half. Up 6 with under 3 minutes to go, allowed Francis Marion to force overtime. What I look forward to here is, will Augusta loosen up a little bit? I feel like they really tightened up at the end of regulation. Players were passing up shots that, I might not expect them to pass up. So we'll see if they can come out, get a bucket or two to get their rhythm back, get their confidence up, finish this overtime session strong.
Kennedy Manning set to jump tip. To do so. The tip is controlled by Augusta. Augusta lost the opening tip. To begin this ball game as Manning turns and faces. She gets bumped. No whistle, and she travels. Double team. .15 on the shot clock. And there's a steal by Manning.
Great job in the low post by Kennedy Manning.
West into the front court. Get a shove and no call. Second time that Kiera Howard has hit the floor.
These last 5 minutes might not be as pretty as the first 40, as both teams, feel the weight of the pressure of conference play. So far here, we've seen 3 turnovers in a row: a travel by Kennedy Manning, a thrown away ball by Francis Marion trying to enter it to Zaria Woods, and then a turnover between Kiera Howard and Zaria West.
Augusta shot 6 of 13 in that fourth period. Not too bad, 46%. But shooting by Francis Marion, they were 9 of 11, 81.8% from the field in that fourth period. As they outscored Augusta 20-14 down the stretch, sending us to this extra period.
Coach Millette Green wanted to know why that wasn't a travel on Zaria Woods after all the travel calls on Kennedy Manning on the other end.
Got the offensive foul that time.
I mentioned things maybe not being pretty in these last 5 minutes. So we've had 4 possessions, 4 turnovers. Who will be the first team to execute offensively and get on the board here as this overtime session wears on?
You and I talked about it back on December the 21st, our last broadcast, how competitive this league is from top to bottom.
Yeah, winning at home separates the teams.
Manning misses the first one, trying to get a second opportunity for her team. She falls to the floor, and the possession arrow will favor Francis Marion.
Yeah, I mentioned winning at home separating teams. Also, effort will separate teams, and that's what Kennedy Manning gives here. Unable to finish, but not giving up. That's going to pay off in the long run. Golden opportunity for Manning, though, right there at the rim, unable to finish.
And even though Francis Marion will get the possession as they wipe the basketball off from moisture, that may be a blessing in disguise for Augusta if they can hold defensively, because Kennedy Manning was on the end line. She had possession. There's a steal.
Yet another turnover here in overtime.
So both teams a little bit worried, as not for long, Augusta isn't. That strong drive by Kiera Howard. First basket for her in a while. She's got 6. Augusta's up by 2 with another throwaway.
So I count 6 turnovers in this extra period and only 3 shots combined by the two teams. That's the one that's gone in. Kiera Howard with a great drive. Let's see if she can do something like that again.
You played ball for a while. What do they say about pressure?
I think they say it busts pipes. But not with Kiera Howard, I don't think.
No, as she spin dribbles.
Oh.
Whistled. Foul be committed by Frances Marion. And Howard's ready to head to the line. 76% free throw shooter. First time at the line tonight. Mentioned earlier, she's the leading scorer. She now has 7, averaging 12 points a game. 15 is her average in the Peach Belt. Through the first 5 markers. She knocks down a second. So give her 8 now and a steal.
Howard stepping up in overtime, much like she did against Clayton State with that 32-point outing.
West. Howard wants it. Drives. Dumps it. Manning wide open.
Beautiful basketball by Augusta. Kiera Howard has come alive, always up to the task. We're going to see her here. I think this will be the play when she makes, actually this is where she started this run, this 6-0 run, with the first bucket by either team in overtime. Now we'll see her drive into the middle, draw Kennedy Howard's man. Just a nice little touch, puts the right amount of touch on that pass. Nice and soft, and then speaking of soft, Kennedy Manning with the soft finish. Boy, you're looking at the future of Augusta University women's basketball there in Kiera Howard and Kennedy Manning.
Howard, the sophomore, and Manning, the freshman. What a dynamic inside-out combination.
And yet another turnover. Augusta has wreaked havoc on the Frances Marion offense.
6-point lead with 2:22 left. Cautiously enthusiastic are the Jaguars.
Well, you know, it was this exact situation. Up 6 with less than 3 minutes to go when Augusta hit a rough patch earlier. Let's see if Howard, I expect Howard to be up to the task to lead this team in a better way in these last 3 minutes of overtime.
Be nice to have one of those backdoor plays right about now.
I think it all starts with Manning in the post. Let's see if Howard recognizes that.
Harrison has it, drives, didn't want the shot. Now Howard.
Now Asia Harrison's really working hard in the low post against Kiana Adderton.
Gilmore. Ball tipped once, twice, and off the hands of Manning.
Was that off of Manning? I was adamant, as you see me
yeah.
waving my arms. I actually thought it was off Frances Marion.
I think
Shows
that's
what I
Manning.
know. Yeah. I was the only man in the arena that thought that was off on Frances Marion.
Great defense by Wilson. She may have jammed her shoulder.
Great defense is right. It's been just an all-around defensive effort. I look out there on the court and I see at least 4 players who have just had their hands on ball after ball enforcing these Frances Marion turnovers.
Tough defensive assignment there. He's working against Adderton. They're going to count that basket.
You know, we've been
and one opportunity.
We've been analyzing feet moving in the paint. I think we're going to see a travel here. Let's see if Adderton shifts that. Oh, yeah, there's one travel. And there's another one. Oh. Kennedy Manning says, you know, I have perfect footwork compared to that.
Manny pulls down the rebound on the missed free throw.
I've been talking about turnovers by Francis Marion. There's one from Augusta.
We talked about inside 3 minutes where we were in regulation. Strong drive, aggressive move, shot attempt no good, loose ball rebound by Woods, and a whistle in the paint will go against Augusta.
Woods has worked so hard for everything she's gotten. On that play, Kennedy Manning was forced to come help on the drive by Kristen Wall, and that opened up an opportunity for Woods to get an offensive rebound. But because of Kiera Howard's activity, she fouled Woods, forcing her to earn it from the line, and Woods is unable on the first attempt.
So 19 unofficially for Woods. A strong drive and an equally strong defensive play by Adderton.
But a much better job from Augusta, as we see Zaria Woods and Zaria West barking after that play. But a much better job from Augusta getting a good look instead of, either turning the ball over or not getting a good look. Good aggressive play by Zaria West. Now they'll have a chance to throw the ball in. I expect Kennedy Manning to get this ball after the inbound.
West has it. They want to put it in the hands of Howard. Driving. Got her legs taken out from under her.
That's just textbook call goes to the aggressive player. Kiera Howard a little out of control here. Probably doesn't deserve that call, but when you put the pressure on both the defender and the referee to make a decision, sometimes I'd say, maybe even more than 50% of the time it goes your way if you're an aggressive offensive player, and Kiera Howard is. You mentioned her shooting 76% from the free throw line. She's even shooting better than that in conference play. She's a real gamer.
We touched on it earlier. Leading scorer, averaging 12 points a game, 15 in conference. And she now has 11 in this one.
11 in this game, and I think she
Correction, 10 points in the game.
Okay. But she came into the fourth quarter with 2.
Right.
So she's done her damage at the most important game. Just like she stepped up her production in conference play, tonight she stepped up her production during crunch time.
Your leading scorers in this ball game, Adderton with 17 for Francis Marion, and Woods with 19. Gilmore stepping up her offensive productivity with 16 in the game. On the other side for Augusta, Harrison has 15, 10 for Howard, 16 for Wilson, and 13 tonight for Manning. Five-point game.
The most reliable thing for Francis Marion has been to get the ball to Zaria Woods deep in the post. Here she catches it a little further out.
There's a 3 ball, and Gilmore knocks down another.
I think Zaria Woods might have gotten away with an offensive foul there, but just like Kiera Howard got the benefit of the doubt on the other end, Woods does here. We'll see her kind of throw that arm out, clear Kiera Howard out, recognizes that Gilmore's wide open. She's been up to the task today.
Her 4th made 3.
Here, we'll see that clear out a little better. Might have been a little acting job by Kiera.
Good job by Woods, almost traveled. It looks like our officials are going to come over and want to take a look and see what they see on this 3-point attempt, as we'll get a chance to watch it again. They're looking for the feet to make sure that she's behind the arc.
All right, stop it right there. Back up. Stop. Can you stop right there? Yeah, that's a better angle. Can you zoom in a little bit?
The kick out right there.
He's on the line. It's a 2.
They're going to count it as a 2-point field goal. It appears, not a 3.
So that sound is Augusta Jaguar fans everywhere thanking SUV TV for having instant replay, essentially taking a point off the board for Francis Marion. I know that fans of the Patriots won't be thrilled about that, but it's part of the game now.
Technology exists, why not use it? A great job by our crew. And the great thing about that shot, Chad, it actually comes from the other end line. The camera angle. Expert shooting. Our award-winning staff. We're set to inbounds. And it's a 3-point game with Augusta with the lead.
So I'll risk committing the announcer's jinx here and say that Augusta would like nobody at the line more than they would like Kiara Howard in this situation.
So we talked about 76% throughout the year. 81% in Peach Belt Conference play as she knocks down the first.
If I'm not mistaken, she's perfect from the line here today.
That's when it comes to bite you.
That jinx.
11 points in the ball game for Howard. But a 2-possession game before that one.
I'll tell you what, Augusta is going to have to earn this one today. You know, we've talked about troubles finishing in past games, also here today in regulation. This Francis Marion team won't go away. Cutting it to 2 here with 24 seconds. Augusta's going to have to, withstand pressure, trapping. I don't know if Francis Marion will foul right away or if they'll try to force a turnover. If they don't foul right away, Augusta will have to be sure-handed with the ball, either take advantage of the opportunity to maybe get a layup against Francis Marion's trap or run the clock down and force them to foul.
That was Christian Wall with that last field goal, the freshman. Speaking of a wall, there's a wall right in front of us. The Jaguars ready to run a set play with 23.8 seconds left, up by 2. And a reach-in foul committed by Wall. According to our scoreboard, neither team with any timeouts remaining.
Doesn't Kiara Howard look confident at the line?
Absolutely. 6 of 7 on the night. Now 7 of 8.
She looks
got
like
13.
She looks like she's shooting at practice.
And this is the facility they use for practice, so quite comfortable here. Adderton kicks it out on the wing. Now strong drive. Adderton has it, and then she lost it.
All night that defense has shown up. Kiara Howard did a great job of cutting off dribble penetration, getting Francis Marion out of their rhythm, and next thing you know, it's a turnover, and that will do it.
And give some credit to Cameron Wilson as well defensively.
Yeah, I think we'll
giving up several inches in the post.
That's right. Wilson's been very good defensively. She's tied the ball up repeatedly in this second half. Kiara Howard, Kennedy Manning, Zaria West has forced turnovers. This unit right here has done an excellent job on the defensive end.
Manning at the line. One of 3 on the night, 13 points. She gets the kind roll. So 5-point advantage with 4 seconds left. And Augusta picks up their 7th victory of the season and their 4th Peach Belt Conference win. With that 4th win, they move into a tie for 3rd in the win department in conference play. North Georgia 6-0, Lander 5-0, and then the group of 4, with 4 wins that is, that's Columbus State, Clayton State, and our very own Augusta University Lady Jaguars taking care of business. The women victorious tonight in this one. What a game, Chad.
Yeah, we see the ladies at half court. It's a sight we've gotten to see many times this year, I guess 5 out of 6 times here at home. They really enjoy getting together at the end of a win, and we enjoy seeing it.
And now wave to the crowd as they head off the floor. And the fans showing their love. So once again, Augusta heads on the road following this big victory, as they'll take on Pembroke in North Carolina Saturday, 1:30 tip time. And then Monday, they're on the road again at Columbus State before returning home a week from tonight. They'll take on a tough squad from North Georgia who'll come a-calling. North Georgia currently the #1 seed if the Peach Belt Conference tournament were to get underway this week, with a perfect 6-0 mark. Individually, as we have the official stats in front of us, Augusta took care of business shooting 27 of 56 on the ball game, 48%. Francis Marion taking care of business as well to that same tune, 27 made field goals. Augusta was 14 of 20 from the free throw line, 70%. Francis Marion, 11 of 16, 68.8%. Francis Marion, 4 of 14 from long distance, 28.6%. While Augusta, 6 of 10, 60% in the ball game. It was 22-21 at the end of the opening period, 14-7 the scoring in the second quarter. Halftime score, Augusta led it 36-28 after trailing 10-2 to open up the ball game. In the third quarter, Francis Marion outscored us 14-12. The fourth period, Francis Marion outscored Augusta again 20-14. Those big 6 points coming down the stretch to tie the game up, sending it to overtime at 62 apiece before Augusta outscored them 12-7 down the stretch and pulled away for a 74-69 victory. Again, congratulations goes out to Millette Green and the Jaguars, who are now 7-7, 4-2 in Peach Belt Conference play, 5-1 at home, and they end their 2-game skid. While on the other side, Jerry Porter and Francis Marion, the Patriots, fall to 5-7, 1-5 in Peach Belt Conference play. They're 2-5 on the road, and they've now lost 4 straight games. This concludes our broadcast of the women's contest. As you see, the men are on the floor, and they'll be coming your way in about 17 minutes. You can go to the official schedule on Augusta University's men's basketball site and pull up the live feed. You'll be able to watch it there, or go to the SUV TV for all complete coverage of Jaguar basketball at home this season. So from our broadcast partner, Chad Cook, and the entire SUV TV family, I'm the Mac Daddy, Charles McNeil. Good night, and God bless everyone.